Hello, my friend. It's me, Stu, here for you. And today we're going to be talking about, does a membership make sense for your market and what makes a great membership? Because listen, the idea of having recurring revenue for your business sounds amazing, right? We all want that stability. That's a given, that's a no-brainer. It's the reason why so many businesses are moving to a membership and subscription model. But the question that holds so many of us up is, what makes a great membership? That's what I'm going to unpack here today. Now, before we dive into it, the fun part about memberships and the membership world, in fact, I was having a conversation right before you and I are live here today. I was having a conversation. I was talking about all the different types of markets that a membership has a presence in. There's the markets that we know of, like, photography and calligraphy and fitness and finance and music and art and health and dog training and you name it. There's all kinds of different markets, right? But then there's like all kinds of super unique markets. And I love every single year when we get exposed to new markets that I've never even heard of. Like, for example, when Holly George from our community came into our world, I was blown away when she started not only sharing the results and growth of her membership, which was amazing. Her story is incredible. We'll follow up with Holly and you can hear more of her story. But her market grabbed my attention. Now, she teaches people how to create balloon animals. And she created a membership site called the Twister Hood. Oh my goodness. Twister Sister, actually. Twister Sisters. That's what it's called. The Twister Sister. It's an amazing, but it's all about making balloon animals. Pretty crazy, right? Then there was Courtney Lynn, who, started an Instagram account for her pet. It's called Hammy and Me, I believe. And it took off. And then she started having, corporate sponsors reach out. And then she had people reaching out to her saying, how are you growing this Instagram account for your dog? And so the light bulb went off. This was an opportunity. Now, Courtney, she eventually, left her teaching job to pursue this, grew a membership with hundreds of members, teaching them how to become a pet influencer. So all kinds of markets have been served through memberships. Kimberly McCormick, one of my favorite people in the entire world. Great to see you, buddy. Okay, so what makes a great membership? Well, this is where I want to unpack it for you. And there are 3 areas that I want you to stay focused on. Ready? Okay, let's dive into area number 1. That is a great membership. If it can become a great membership if a membership is built around solving an ongoing problem for your market. So if you're in a market where people in that market are experiencing an ongoing problem, then this is a good sign for a membership. So for example, like what would be like some examples of this? Well, weight loss is a good example. Okay. So somebody is not at the weight that they want to be, and they want to lose some weight and get at a better weight. Well, that doesn't happen overnight, right? That's an ongoing problem, so to speak, that requires like a routine, a change of behavior, a change of patterns, a change of thinking, right? And so that is it makes for a great membership because there's an ongoing problem. Another example would be like dog training, right? So dog training, again, you're not going to go from a dog that, is wildly out of control to the perfect puppy like that, right? It takes time. And it takes methodical training with that dog to modify and or change that behavior. Another great example, like relationships. You're very rarely going to go from like a tense, bickering, terrible, fighting relationship to like this perfect, loving, supportive, encouraging relationship. You're not going to make that change like that. It happens over time. That's a great market for a membership. Great to see everybody in the comments. Kelly and Scotty the Body, great to see you. Luna's there. Shauna's there. Great to see you, gang. So first things first, what makes a great membership? Number one, does it solve an ongoing problem? So if it solves an ongoing problem, that's a great sign for a membership. Number two, can you help people master a skill? So this is where a lot of memberships are built around, is helping people develop and master a skill set around a particular topic. So as an example, let me know in the comments, what are some markets that you think would fit this mold? I'll give you some examples. Like learning to play the guitar is a great one, right? Because again, you're not going to go from not knowing how to play the guitar to being able to play any song that somebody yells out like that, right? It's going to take time to master the skills. You're going to have to learn how to strum. You're going to have to learn different notes. You're going to have to learn how to play different, pick. There's all kinds of different skills that somebody needs to learn in order to master the guitar. Another great example would be art, right? You're not going to go from not knowing how to paint to becoming the next Picasso like that. Like that's a skill that is built over time. And there are all kinds of different variations of art. It's not just painting, could be drawing, could be calligraphy, could be all kinds of different things. Surface pattern design, shout out to Bonnie. But bottom line is that there's all kinds of different markets. Sarah says, mine teaching indoor rowing. Amazing, Sarah. Kelly says WordPress, learning WordPress. Yes. Rick Allen says dog training. So there's dog training in terms of the dog itself. Then there's dog training in terms of you, the trainer, becoming a better trainer. Lots of great examples. Scott said nonprofit leadership, 100%, like becoming a better leader. You don't go from being a terrible leader to being an amazing leader like that. That is a skill set that's built over time, right? That makes for a great membership. So anytime you are in a market where people are learning a skill set, that makes for a great membership. Now, the third area is one that doesn't get talked about enough. It deserves a little more attention. And I firmly believe that all of us who are thinking about and or are running memberships should look to incorporate this a little more in every single one of our memberships. And that is, can you make things more convenient? So what I mean by this is like, can you save people time? Or can you speed up a result? Or can you make something more convenient? Because if the answer to that question is yes, then that's going to give people a reason to want to continue to be part of your membership ongoing, because it's serving them, it's saving them time, it's making their life easier. And there are tons of different examples of this. Let's just focus in on like the teaching market. So many teachers in our community have built highly successful memberships by serving other teachers and helping make their lives easier. Great example is Patty Palmer. She is an art teacher, or was an art teacher, and she used to post different lesson examples on her blog. And over the years, many people would be leaving comments and asking her like, hey, can I use these lessons in my class? Like, hey, do you have any more examples? And ultimately, it led Patty to the idea of launching a membership. She simply provides lesson plans that make an art teacher's life easier. Because if you have ever been a teacher, married to a teacher, or know a teacher, then you know that their weekends and evenings just get gobbled up in lesson planning. Now, teachers deserve a heck of a lot of credit and high fives because they pour in to their kids in the classroom during the day. And then most often in the evenings and on the weekends, they are working their tails off to create lesson plans for the upcoming week, where Patty comes in and she just makes their lives easier. She's like, here, take my lesson plans. So now the teacher doesn't have to worry about thinking through the lessons and how they're going to structure it and teach, but instead now he or she can focus on teaching and delivering those lesson plans to the kids. And we've seen this in many, all kinds of aspects, whether it's Patty Palmer with art lessons, whether it's Anna DiGilio with reading lessons, whether it's, Caitlin and Jessica with their membership serving teachers. Like, there are many, many different examples. And we see this in the homeschooling market in a wide variety of, I think of Jackie, who's got a membership that provides science lesson plans for homeschools. Like, there's all kinds of great examples. But what's happening here? At the core of it, they're making their members' lives easier. Scott Paley in the comments just gave a few more examples. Meal plans, great example. There was a time when, I'll never forget this, when my wife and I, we had our first child, our daughter, Marla. And for years and years and years prior, when, Amy and I were together, like, neither of us liked cooking. Like, we love to eat, but we just don't like cooking. So what would ultimately happen, legit, like every night, is there would be like this standoff. Like, we're just kind of waiting, hoping that the other person was going to get hungry first, and they would therefore go to make themselves something to eat, and the other of us would just kind of slipstream into that. Oh, can I just have a little bit of that? But ultimately, like, it led to, like, we would eat terrible meals. It was awful. But when we had our daughter, we're like, well, we can't feed our daughter the crappy food that, we're, eating. So I went online and I searched for fresh, fast meals. And ultimately, I came across a membership called the Fresh 20. And it was fresh, healthy meals in 20 minutes or less. And they did exactly what Scott just laid out. They provided me not only meal plans, but they provided me shopping lists and instructions on how to make these meals in 20 minutes or less. They took the thinking out of creating meals. I wasn't necessarily looking to become a master chef or anything of that nature. I was just looking to save time. I was just looking to save energy and effort in thinking, right? That's exactly what they did. So there are many different examples of memberships that create convenience for their members. One of the things I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about a membership, is how can you weave that in? I think of years ago when I was talking to a friend of mine who had a membership in the stock trading space. Now, this was years ago. His name's AJ Brown, still has a membership. And one of the things that he did inside of that membership was he taught a particular strategy where this old school people would go into the newspaper to look for certain stock tickers. Well, then he developed a tool that was only available inside his membership that took that process from like 20 minutes down to like 20 seconds. And it saved his members a ton of time. But the only way they could access that tool was inside the membership. So why do I share this with you? Because there were a lot of people who stayed part of his membership, not because they necessarily wanted to learn a whole bunch of stuff, but because they had the convenience of a 20-minute process boiled down to 20 seconds. That's the power of incorporating or providing something in a more convenient way. And every single one of us in our memberships could do the very same thing. So what makes a great membership? It boils down to these three characteristics. Number one, can you solve an ongoing problem? If your market is facing or dealing or trying to navigate an ongoing problem, that, my friend, makes for a great membership. Whether it is a dog that's wildly out of control and you're looking to train it to become the perfect puppy, or whether it's, somebody who is not at their ideal weight and they want to lose weight to get down to that, or whether it's a broken relationship wanting to get to a thriving relationship. It's a great example of an ongoing problem that doesn't get solved immediately overnight. It takes time. That makes for a great membership. Number one, does it solve an ongoing problem or challenge? Number 2, does it help people master a skill? So this is where a lot of memberships fall into this bucket because we're teaching people how to do something. And whether that's learning how to go from not knowing how to paint to becoming a great artist, or not knowing how to play the guitar to becoming a great guitar player, or not knowing how to set up a WordPress site and becoming a master at setting up a WordPress site, or not having any leadership skills and becoming a tremendous leader. It's about learning and mastering those skills. Those skills and that, acquiring those skills, it takes time. That makes a perfect environment for a membership, supporting people in acquiring those skills and mastering those skills. And the third characteristic of a great membership is one that makes things more convenient, making somebody's life better because you're helping them achieve their goals easier and faster. This is exactly what lesson plan memberships are all about. This is exactly what meal plan memberships are all about. Any memberships that provide templates and resources fall into this bucket and category. Another great example was Paul Evans, who had the membership that provided Sunday school teachers with a Sunday school presentation that they could just, easily tweak the PowerPoint and away they go. They're off to the races, right? So it's about making making something more convenient for their audience. So those, my friends, are 3 characteristics that make a great membership. Now, if you got questions about memberships, I got answers for you because I get asked questions all the time. This is what I do. I help tens of thousands of people every single year launch, grow, and scale highly profitable memberships. And every year we get inundated with questions on how to do this successfully. And we put together a great resource for you. If you go to themembershipguide.com, themembershipguide.com, you'll get a free resource that we have put together where I answer the top 10 questions that I get asked all the time about growing a highly profitable membership. And not only do I provide the answers, but we have provided tons of different examples of memberships alongside those responses. It's all free. Just go to themembershipguide.com and you'll be able to pick it up accordingly. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me today. Have yourselves a great rest of the week. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.